All right, hello YouTube, Prince here. Welcome to another Debut Diaries video update. For those that don't know, welcome to my channel. My name is Prince Shakur. I'm a soon-to-be traditionally published author. My first book, titled When They Tell You to Be Good, with Tin House Books, is coming out October 4th, 2022. And as far as the time that I'm recording this video, it comes out in less than a month, which is wild. It's wild. And I haven't done one of these Debut Diary updates in a minute because I've been traveling. I was traveling for 2 months in June and July. I was bumping around in August. And honestly, it's like now it's September and I'm like, how did the time fly? But I have a few updates to give and I have just a few kind of points to reference about the debut author journey that I kind of want to unpack. And I'll be splicing in some clips to kind of talk about what it's been like. First thing I want to talk about is kind of how my feelings as a debut author has changed from the spring to now that it's fall. In the spring, I was moving out of my house that I was living in Columbus. I was planning for this summer of travels, and I really went through a deep existential crisis about being worried about reviews, about feeling weird about working on this thing for so long, and then knowing that it's going to be published and something that people can buy. And I really had the central question of, does the art that an artist produced, does it belong to the artist or the person intaking it? And I really went through this whole existential crisis about like, do I own it or should I care about the reviews or the criticism? And then I felt all this trepidation. And then I felt also this kind of sadness and this grief, also coupled with the fact that I've been going through numerous grieving processes recently. And I felt just like a lot of big emotions. And I feel like getting away this summer and traveling and working on my novel and reading a bit more really kind of took me out of a lot of that worry and put me in a place where I kind of reaffirmed myself and said, like, if the art doesn't matter to you in the first place, how the heck can it matter to anyone else? Because like, if it didn't matter to you, you wouldn't have made it in the first place. And that is the first point of power that you want to have as an artist. And so I think realizing that was just really, really important to me, and it helped me. And so that was a big part of shifting from this existential worry to kind of being in this place of extreme gratitude, because I was in France, I was meeting people. People were asking me like, oh, you're a writer, you have a book coming out. And so telling people that my book was coming out, and actually like I got the arcs of it right before I went to traveling, and getting the arcs was really beautiful. And I think having that the physical book definitely made it feel more real and gave me a lot more gratitude for the process. And the other thing is that through the summer, I started learning about the publicity aspects of the book. And so in May, I did a call with my agents and the publicists at Tin House, and we talked about their different plans for publicity and marketing and what I should be preparing for. And mainly a lot of that was interviews. So actually, when I was in St. Paul de France, I did my first interview. It was with Publishers Weekly, and it was a portrait of a young artist. So they basically asked me a few questions. And it was actually really cool to do my first interview there while holding the book and being in St. Paul de France, where James Baldwin lived and passed away. And so that was really cool. And ever since then, I've been doing more interviews. Like I've done maybe 3 or so interviews since then. I've honestly really enjoyed this part of the process in terms of like the different parts of getting a book published, like writing it and then editing it with your agent, submissions, editing it after it's sold, the announcement, all that stuff, getting the copy. Like top 3 of all of these parts of the process would definitely have to be interviews, because I love understanding what parts of my book resonate with people and how. And so I did 2 interviews last week where it was both Black interviewers. And the first one, like, she literally had my book and she held it up and it was marked up. Like there were Post-it notes and like, I was like, you really read it closely. And so that's been really, really special. And after every interview, I pretty much cry because I feel so much gratitude and affirmation. And it's just amazing to envision something being in the world in a certain way and knowing that the impact of it aligns with what you kind of intended for it to be, which for me, I want this book to be a catalyst for other young people to believe and to know that writing their histories and their kind of political experiences are important. And also it was important for me to contend with these ideas about mortality and death that I have, and to do it in a way that is through a queer lens and isn't just entirely nihilistic and isn't entirely romanticized. And so doing those things felt really important to me. And in a lot of these interviews, I can tell that people are acknowledging the work that I've put in and they understand it, and it's really beautiful. And honestly, like I've done like a few podcast interviews so far, and I really love the idea of being able to like look back at videos like this or podcast episodes as timestamps of where I was at this point in my life and how I was thinking and talking about my work. And so to me, interviews have just been chef's kiss. It's been an amazing experience. Some publicity updates. My book was named a most anticipated book of the fall by Time Magazine. It was just today I learned named a book pick of the fall by Book Riot. And there's been a bunch of other buzz. I'll put those things on the screen. And hearing that buzz has been really cool. It's nice because I know that my book is being put on lists where it can be sort of in community with other books that are really, really, really important or going to sell really well. And so kind of just understanding the fun in that. And also like, I really love this part of the process where like not everyone has read the book yet, but I can like show it to people and share it with them and talk about it. But it's still kind of partially mine. And I'm also getting emailed about events. Like I have numerous book events lined up. There's going to be a book event in Columbus, Ohio. There's going to be another one in New York. Then I'm going to San Francisco. Next year, there's 1 or 2 things lined up. And so I'm just really excited for when the book comes out or gets closer. And since people are reading it, they can invite me to events that are really applicable to subject matters in it. And I'm just so, it's honestly, and maybe I should talk about this, like working towards something for so long. And then once you're at the precipice of it, like I've been trying to answer the question when people say like, how does it feel, honestly? And it feels simultaneously surreal and entirely real at the same time. Like the surreal aspects of being a debut author and waiting for your book to come out. If you have a team behind you that really cares, like my agents are really perceptive. Like one of them is like, if you need to do a call before the book comes out to kind of emotionally process. The other one is just really on it, like business-wise, asking questions on calls. And they're just really good at making me feel seen and understood and taken care of. And then Tin House has been really amazing. Like I recently met up with my editor and talked about the book, and he just really gave me a lot of love and made me feel affirmed in the work that I do as a writer. And Tin House is kind of doing the same. And so I feel like the surreal aspect is fighting for so long to get through these gates and feeling like I don't know if I'm ever going to get there, if I'm going to be one of those people. And the surreal thing is having the kind of support that I feel like I needed all along. And so it's kind of like, it's great, but it kind of makes me sad. Parts of the earlier parts of the journey where you feel really like shit or you don't know what's going to happen. And it also makes me want to open up the industry and make it more equitable and transparent for other people coming after me, which is a part of the reason that I make these videos. And then the way that it doesn't feel surreal is the other aspect, which is I've worked fucking hard coming up with this book idea, starting to write in 2017, getting my first agent, that agent leaving a year later, even though we hadn't signed together, finding the drive to write the book while I was starting out my career as a freelancer, getting residencies, hustling to get to the residencies. Like when I think about the fact that like from 2017 to 2020, I wrote the damn book, confronted all the personal hurdles required to write it, and then I got a book deal. Like some writers, it takes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And not saying that that means that like I'm more talented, but I think it just shows that I've had such a bullseye focus on various aspects of my career that I've wanted, and I've committed to it in a way where I've shown that I'm willing to do the hard work and to edit and to bring these things that I'm working on to shinier and better places. And I listened to a podcast episode that Hanif Abdurraqib did recently with Books or Pop Culture, and I'm actually going to be interviewed on that in a few weeks. And I'll actually maybe put the link below, but he talked about how he wants to go against this scarcity mindset in his editor-at-large role at Tin House. And it really is a big thing in the literary world where you have to be considered a genius, or the book has to be perfect, or like it has to be fully realized to its potential for an editor to take a chance on it, especially when you're marginalized, which is the part that sucks, because white people can publish books that are mediocre, that represent other communities poorly, and they get paid 6-figure book deals. But as a Black writer, like I can write a really good book that needs an editor who can see the shiny parts of it and know how to give feedback and to make it shine even more, but they don't want to take a chance on me. And that's really what the submissions journey taught me. The real part is like, I understand that my hard work has brought me here, that freelancing as much as I have has brought me here, and then also being a writer that's made myself visible in a number of ways has brought me here, and also like being in community with people and showing through my work ethic that I have other stuff that I'm working on that you could put me on for. And so that's been a really big part of kind of looking at the way it feels to be a debut author that I've been trying to be more honest about. And those are my 2 cents. I saw my book for the first time, and I'm going to insert the clip here and let you watch it and then talk after. But here's the clip. I'm turning a corner in my career that I've always really wanted. And I'm doing my first reading next week with this. And it's real, which is, oh my God. Wow. And all the blurbs at the beginning. Oh my God. To Crystal, James Baldwin, K.L. Bird, Stephen Yeager, and every little kid writing towards a dream. Oh my God, it's a Okay, so there's the front cover. It's hardcover. You can see the colors. It's got lots of yellow, lots of green. I love like how the letters pop, like especially from the side, how the yellow pops. It really is catching to the eye. This is the back of it. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. When things like this happen, I'm just like, how am I going to do anything else the rest of the day? Well, that's all I'm going to do in this video. Please consider pre-ordering my book. It comes out October 4th, 2022. I put my heart into this. I'm really proud to be someone in my 20s publishing, encouraging other young people to write about their lives and to think about the notion of young memoir. It really means a lot to me, and I'm really glad that I can sort of embody this thing that I think can tell young people to find your histories, write your narratives. And thank you, Tin House. Thank you. So yeah, I saw my book for the first time. I have a copy right here. Here it is. It's beautiful. It's gold. You can see the spine. It's beautiful. There's a bunch of blurbs on the back, which is amazing. And even just holding it, I'm like, this is a real... But yeah, it's real. I saw it. I have copies of it. I don't know if I'm going to do a giveaway. I might. But it was just a really special moment to be able to receive this box of books, to hold it in my hand, and to really savor the fact that I've worked so fucking hard, and I'm so excited that this is the beginning of what I hope to be a very long and beautiful career as someone making art, with radical purpose and intention, that's making art about the intersections of racial identity, of cultural identity, of political identity, whatever it is. And I'm excited to have people read this, to intake it, to understand what it was like for me to come of age, to go to college, to become radicalized by Black Lives Matter, to do all these things that felt so deeply important to me. And I felt like I wanted a space to kind of unpack the lessons that I've learned along the way. And this book is definitely that. So if you haven't already, please go to the link in the description and pre-order. Send it to friends that you know might be interested. Buy it for your family, for your friends, for the holidays. And if we meet up, I'll sign it. But that's my debut diaries video for today. Thank you for watching. Check out more writing videos on this channel. I put out videos about 3 times a month. I'm going to be moving soon, so there's going to be all sorts of New York content and videos coming. So stay tuned for that. But until next time, happy writing.